Here we go with some integer subtraction. This video we're going to talk about using the rules to subtract integers. So here we see the rule. There's one rule for integer subtraction. To subtract an integer, add its opposite. We've previously talked about how subtraction is the opposite of addition. And so what we've shown through using integer chips and through using number lines, that if we're subtracting an integer, it adds its opposite. So there's two little steps in doing this. So the first thing we're going to do when we have an integer subtraction question is we're going to rewrite each subtraction sentence as an addition sentence. But specifically what we're going to do is we're going to add its opposite. So I'm going to use an example here, and we're going to write this one down. So we're going to say it's 3 subtract 5. Okay, so we're going to add its opposite. So you see in brackets here, it says KFC. Some like to remember this KFC little acronym here to remember what to do. So what that stands for is keep, flip, and change. So what that's referring to is each part of the addition, or the subtraction statement. First part we're going to keep, middle part we're going to flip, last part we're going to change. So what that means is I'm going to keep 3 positive as a positive 3. I'm going to flip my operation from subtraction to addition, and then I'm going to change my second integer to the opposite integer. So positive 5, the opposite integer I need to change this to is negative 5. So now I've done the first step. The second step is follow the addition rules to solve. So now I have an addition statement. I am now ignoring this up here, and I'm going to add this bottom one here. So with this, the addition rules, you remember the second rule, if the signs are opposite, then you subtract and keep the sign of the larger integer for the answer. So 5 subtract 3 is 2, and 5 is the bigger numeral than the other one, so it's going to be negative 2. So what this all means is 3 subtract 5 is equal to negative 2. Or another way to look at this is 3 subtract 5 is equal to 3 plus a negative 5. Let's look at another one here. So remember the keep, flip, change, or remember that you are swapping it to add its opposite. So next subtraction example here is 2 subtract negative 6. So apply the rule, change the operation and the sign of the second integer. So I'm going to keep the first integer, I'm going to change it to addition, and I'm going to change this one to its opposite. So the opposite of negative 6 would be positive 6. And now I would add those together. So these two, they have the same sign. So I'm going to keep them as a positive and add the digits together. So it's going to be 8. So the answer to the question 2 subtract negative 6 is positive 8. Another example, 4 subtract 7. Okay, so following the rules here, I'm going to keep the 4. I'm going to switch this to addition, and I'm going to change this integer to its opposite. Positive 7's opposite is negative 7. And now I'm going to solve this. So on this one, the signs are different, so then I subtract the smaller one from the larger one, which gives me that. And I'm going to keep the sign of the larger number, which is 7, so it's a negative 3. So negative 3 is my answer. Okay, we've got some more here. Keep going through these. So 9, I'm going to keep it as a 9. I'm going to change that to addition. The opposite would be 3. So now 9 plus 3 is 12. 7 subtract 13. Going to keep the 7, I'll change it to addition, go to the opposite, 13. I have opposite signs again, so I'm going to go 13 minus 7, which is 6. So the answer is going to be 6. What sign do I use? 13 is a larger number than 7, so I use the 13. Next one, keep the negative 6, change it to addition, change to its opposite. Now add them together. That is going to be negative 10. The signs are the same. Next one, another negative, negative 12. Keep that one, right? Keep, flip, change. 12 minus 6 equals 6, so it's going to be a negative 6 because the 12 is bigger than 6. Next one, keep, flip, change. 8 subtract 5 equals 3, so this one is 3. Okay, so there's a few examples of this. So nothing changes when there is a negative number first, and then we're subtracting something from it. Okay, it's still going to be, you always keep this first integer the same. Where if I have a positive first, 8 subtract negative 4, okay, 8 plus 4 is positive 12. Okay, so the important part to remember here, we'll scroll back up here to the rules. The important part here to remember, okay, you can remember the KFC if you want to, keep, flip, change. Important part is we're adding the opposite. When we look back here at the number line, to give an example, so this one we had that was, let's take any of these example, 2 subtract negative 6. Okay, so 2 subtract negative 6. So again, I have 2, so I was starting here. Okay, when I'm subtracting a positive, I'm moving this direction. Okay, when I'm subtracting a negative, I'm moving this direction. So I'm going to, from the 2, I'm going to subtract a negative 6, so that's going this direction. So then I would count my negative 6, and I would go there. Okay, so when you look at this, what have you done? You're at 2, and I've ended at 8 positives. 2, and if I'm going to the right, so I'm subtracting a negative, or I'm adding, if I'm doing addition, I'm adding a positive going this direction. 2 plus something gets me to 8. Okay, so 2, we know 2 plus 6 gets me to 8. So here you see the connection between this and this. 2 subtract its opposite equals 8. So hopefully this helps. If you need to rewatch and see some of the examples over again, please do. If you have any other questions, come and see me.